Alrighty then, so if you have done this drawing already, then you know that even though it's a nice drawing, it's a finished drawing, it's also a correct drawing because we got to use this whole perspective thing. And you know, if you've done this drawing, that underneath all the shading and shadowing and the texture and the light and all that kind of good stuff is just this simple structure, something like this. And the whole point of this structure was that it went back to the vanishing point. Basic one-point perspective, but everything, that's the big takeaway from this one, is that everything goes back to the vanishing point. And that's how we get it to look nice and natural. Well, if you've had me already for one class and you've got me for another class, or maybe you had me last year, or maybe you just want a little bit more practice, don't worry, I've got you covered. I've got another one for you. Let's take a look at this drawing right here. Now, you might say like, oh my gosh, Mr. Kuhn, that one looks complicated. Well, don't worry about it. It's really not, because it's a drawing that uses light and texture and shadows and forms and all that kind of good stuff, right? That's what makes it really look like a cool drawing. But underneath it is, once again, a nice and relatively simple structure. Let me show you what it would look like. So here we go. You can see now that it has all the shading and the shadowing and everything taken away, oh, it's not that big of a deal at all. We've just got these two things going back to a vanishing point once again. And that's the big takeaway, is that it's really no more complicated than this here. So you can see just like this. Let's picture that that's the edge right here, and everything would go back to the vanishing point here, here. See how everything is just going back to the vanishing point. And that's basically all that's going along here. Now, let me show you on this. You can see the lines up here, back to the vanishing point. The stairs, oh, that looks complicated. Well, no, it's just a simple stair shape. But look, everything goes back to the vanishing point. The doors, the porches, everything. It's actually a very simple structure, and I think that you can do this. It's just sort of intuitive. And, well, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you how to rough out a drawing like this, and then take it, of course, to being a finished drawing. All right, one thing that I need to point out is that they never start off that way. They never start off nice and neat and finished. In fact, so here, let me let you in on it. So like, here's maybe probably like my initial drawing for that. Look at how messy that is. I'm just working out ideas. That's the important thing. Then from there, that got a little bit too messy. Maybe, you know, we refined it down a little bit. Okay, maybe something more a little bit like that. All right. Well, that's still, you know, very much of a messy thing. I couldn't really work with that too much. Okay, so refining the idea down even a little bit more. And finally, we get to here. Okay, well, that's pretty good, but it's still messy. So once I had something like this made, that's when I was able to take and copy it over and make something that was really, really neat and nice that I could eventually turn into the finished drawing. Okay, cool. Alrighty then, so for full disclosure, I just wanted to point out that I do have this under here. I'm using it as a bit of a cheat myself in this, but that's because I've already worked everything out, and you don't want me to take all that time. Let's just pretend it's not there, because it would work exactly the same anyways. Let me show you this if you haven't seen it already. So I'm going to tape it down, and I just take a little bit of tape, a little bit of masking tape, but I put it onto my sleeve or some other piece of cloth first, because then when I go to take it away from the paper, it's less likely to tear the paper. It lowers the tack quite a bit. So it always just starts with an idea. So, okay, where am I going to put my vanishing point? Well, I'll put my vanishing point right here, right in the center. That's a good place for it. And that vanishing point is always along a horizon line. So let's say I've got my horizon line right about there. That's about the middle of the paper. Okay, cool. And so then I'm going to do my little building here and be, okay, how tall is that building? Maybe something like this here. And so then it's going to have to go back to the vanishing point. So kind of draw that out a little bit, just roughing it, because you never want to start with a ruler. Never, never, never. Just rough it in, because that's how you build your ideas. I say, okay, well, I'm going to have it symmetrical, so I'll just do the same thing on this other side here. And just saying, like, I'm going to have it be, about the same height as that one. They might not be totally exact. That's okay. Probably better if they're not. And, just working out, where would that go to the vanishing point? Okay, something like that there. Cool. And so let me see. I want a roof. A roof would stick out a little bit, wouldn't it? Okay. And then the roof line would go back to the vanishing point. So I got to draw that also to the vanishing point. All right, here and maybe here. Okay, now the roof itself is slanted, so it doesn't go back to the vanishing point. Otherwise, it'd be flat. It's going to have to go up a little bit to work that out. So I would just do it here. And, I'm doing them at the same time because I wanted them to be symmetrical. I don't know. I just wanted them to be like that for some reason. Now a door. So thinking about, well, these are just little huts, like at maybe even either in a nice little village for real, or maybe it's just like a little vacation villa or something like that. Maybe I need a vacation. That's why I'm drawing all these beachy things lately. So I just think, okay, there's my door. And you can see how I just used that perspective to line that up. And then inside the door, of course, the wall is going to have some thickness. So I'm going to draw a little bit of thickness to that. Okay. And also, that's going to go. So here you can see how there's the inside of the door, the top of the inside right there. But point being is it goes back to perspective. That's the important takeaway there. And so on the other side, maybe it's in exactly the same place. Maybe it's a different place. I don't know. But I figure, well, that's about how tall, somewhere in there. And I'm going to have it go back. Okay, back to that vanishing point once again. Just kind of roughing it in. And, I've pointed out before, but I'll point it out again. I might not draw this dark if I was doing this on my own. I might. But, drawing lightly is always a good idea. I draw it dark so that you guys can see it here. But okay, so I had a porch. So I'm going to just take and, just pull that out. And everything just, you see, back to the vanishing point. Back to the vanishing point. And same thing over here, right? So a little bit of a porch. And back to the vanishing point. Okay. And I think I made this out of wood, so there's some wooden slats. So I'll make those go back to the vanishing point. About a third, right? There's about a third. Something like that. So three nice little slats. Maybe those are 8-inch boards or something. Who knows what they are. Just to see everything back to the vanishing point. That's the big takeaway from perspective, is that everything goes back to the vanishing point. Maybe, those would have a little bit of depth to them, so those would also, the edge would have to go back to the vanishing point. Maybe that's 2x material or something like that. There we go. Something. And then, I'm going to have some steps, so I'll just make those steps level with this porch here. So, of course, that's going to have to go back to the vanishing point here. Okay, so here. And we'll have that going to about here. See, that's about even with the door. It's about. See, just made it line up with the door. And so, cool. And look, we can just go down. Okay, there's my little stair step. Make like a little set of stairs. See, like a set of stairs. But it just goes back to the vanishing point. Once again, boom, here. This goes back to the vanishing point here. Even down here, back to the vanishing point. And then, here, so here, draw my stairs again. You see, boop, 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 boop. Just like that. Out, out. Down, all right, down. See how easy that was? Okay, something like that. And Same thing, so I'm just kind of lining it up with the door a little bit. Okay, it's going to come out. How far out? Well, let's see. Let's take it back to that vanishing point again. Here. And just draw them out to the stairs a little bit. All right, here. Cool. Everything back to the vanishing point. And just, down here, over here, down, just following that line right there. And let's see, we got like a little bit of a, those things are up on a mound a little bit. And maybe then here's the shore. I don't know how far away that is. Who knows? But boom, are we done? We are so close to being done. And, this perspective stuff, just, you can think of it as a puzzle. That makes it fun. I like that. But just think of it as a means to an end for a drawing. That's all it really is. So, okay. Well, now that I've got it all worked out, it's like, oh, am I going to make a finished drawing on here? Maybe I could. But I like my drawings to be clean and nice and beautiful, and I'd have to do all this erasing over here. So instead, what I'll do is I'll correct things and make sure that they're really, really right. So maybe just a little bit of erasing to get rid of some of this stuff here. I don't need all this mess. And so then maybe I'll take my little paper ruler right here that I've got, and I'll start making it for realsies. Okay, so let's say, okay, there's my vanishing point. And so I've got a horizon, and if I wanted everything to be